back, guys, to another episode of Danganronpa 2. I'm so confused. What the fuck is going on? Goodbye, despair. So we are in Hope's Peak Academy. No lie. We are in Hope's Peak Academy. This is not a drill. And we're trying to figure out a new mystery. Which I think it's just how the outside world actually is. Kind of similar to the first game, except we were just straight up told. That track is pretty far away. If the production team had had more time, they could have... Oh, there could have been a mini-game here. Wait, what am I saying? So the production team didn't have enough time for a mini-game. This cherry tree is in full bloom. It may be tasteful, sight to be blooming in a cherry tree in the dojo. But in this situation, it's just bizarre. Yes, the lockers. This was important in the original. There are a bunch of wooden lockers here. Each of them is a traditional-looking wood block key sticking out of them, I guess. They're just for show. There's nothing in particular that looks like a clue. Nothing else here looks like a clue, though. So we did read a manga that told us basically how Peak Academy fell in the first place. Okay. This was like the principal's room? Is there anything else on this floor, though? Kazuichi!
What's going on?
This hallway's kind of creepy. I can't go to two places that I should be able to go to. It's like some rule is being enforced for no reason. It's like an invisible wall or something. Oh, where's Sonia? I don't remember 5-8 being open. Oh. Oh, a book. The Tragedy. Okay, this is another manga. It's laying on top of the desk. This one is Manga for Morons, The Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Huh. Wasn't the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy mentioned in that other manga too? It's why Hope's Peak Academy went bankrupt, and it was the trigger for the biggest, most tragic, most awful event in human history. Yeah, the tragedy. If I read this manga, will I be able to learn more about that incident? I'm hoping, because I still don't know all the details on it. I took the manga from the desk and started flipping through the pages to see what I could learn about the event known as the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. The story made heavy use of outdated, stylized drawings depicting characters solving mysteries. What's written here is, as the name suggests, the Tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy occurred at Hope's Peak Academy. The key player in that event was a student named Izuru Kamukura. Izuru was a genius known as a symbol of hope. Hope's Peak Academy used all the resources to develop him. Izuru? Is he the one that was on the boat then, maybe? Supposedly, Izuru was a genius among geniuses and possessed various talents. Wielding superior talent for the hope of mankind, the Academy referred to Izuru as the ultimate hope. To protect such rare talent, the Academy completely concealed all evidence of Izuru's origins and identity. Because of that, most of the students at the Academy were completely unaware of Izuru's existence. Now, he died then. But Izuru, who was known as the symbol of hope, was responsible for a horrible incident. 13 students of Hope's Peak Academy's student council, among the Academy's best and brightest, were brutally murdered by Izuru. Never mind, he just killed them all. Okay, however, the incident did not end there. The Academy tried to protect Izuru's superior talent and concealed the incident as though it never happened. However, a certain student began working in secret to use that incident to their advantage. That student uncovered what the Academy did, and by making the knowledge public, it stoked the fires of reserve course students who had long been dissatisfied with how they'd been treated. And the uprising began. And that heralded Hope's Peak Academy's destruction. This is the entirety of the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy. Eventually, the incident would lead to that horrifying, devastating incident. The incident that would be known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Works cited Danganronpa/0. Oh! You're actually citing the anime, Danganronpa/0. I do believe that is an anime. Or maybe even a manga. With a heavy sigh, I closed the manga. Quick pause, I'm gonna look it up. Okay, I was wrong, it wasn't an anime, but it was for sure a manga, and I have not read the manga yet, so I'm probably actually going to read the manga after this game. Am I supposed to believe this? There's no way 13 people were killed at Hope's Peak Academy. Oh, but they were! We've seen the remnants of the room actually. What irony. But yeah, in the first game, there was a bloody room. That would have been the remnants of the tragedy. For a genius known as the ultimate hope to cause such a gruesome incident, a talent like that is it was too regal for society. It's like trying to buy juice with a bar of gold. Oh ho 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 ho! You should be lucky that you're incompetent. Damn it. He always has to lead up to something offensive. He seriously pisses me off. But ultimate hope, Nagito mentioned that before too, but it looks like it means something completely different here. What Nagito said was the true meaning of hope. But for Izuru, hope simply means talent. More importantly, a genius who possesses various talents. I wish they'd given me one of those talents so I didn't have to be in the reserve department. That's right, the reserve department! Here to the reserve course students and the reserve department began uprising. Then what about me? Was I a participant too? No, that's not possible. There's no way. I have no reason to do something like that. I kinda wonder, is Izuru the one on the boat? Anyway, I've learned about the tragedy of Host Peak Academy, but the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is far worse incident, right? What kind of incident was it? And who's this other student that isn't Izuru? A certain student who secretly used the incident to their advantage? Who is that? It could have been, I don't know, Junko Enoshima? Maybe? This incident is really messed up, but all it's doing is raising more questions. The mysteries just keep piling up. Trust me, man. Welcome to the club. I've been trying to figure this shit out since game 1. And it just never quits. So still can't go that way. Can't go that way. But the biolab is now open. So we can go place to place. There's gonna be another manga, isn't there? Oh, yeah. This is where we stored all the bodies. What the hell is this room? It's freaking cold in here. It's like I'm in a freezer or something. If I just stand still, I'm ended up freezing to death. I should hurry up and investigate so I can get out of here already. Excuse me. A Monokuma?
I've been found.
Fuck, I haven't been looking for hidden Monokumas. Well, fuck. Here we go. The tragic event. There's another manga just laying around here. This time the title is Manga for Morons, the biggest, most awful, most tragic human event in human history. I knew it. The next one would obviously be about this incident. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, huh? Just what was that incident really all about? It might turn out to be something lame. I flipped through the pages of the manga and hoped that I was right. We weren't right. Okay, maybe we get a little bit more explanation than the first game here, too. A story about creepily drawn characters who get involved in such horrifying incidents. An incident known as the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. I'm gonna have to fucking put that in my vocabulary permanently. Is this drawn so grotesquely because the incident itself is that grotesque? Anyway, the beginning of this creepy manga starts with the sentence, "The tragedy of Host Peak Academy was simply the trigger." At first, the uprising by the reserve corps students that triggered the tragedy of Host Peak Academy was initially hoped to be resolved quickly, but the situation continued to escalate to dangerous extremes. The movement started spreading all over the internet and fostered a thriving online community. The community was not limited to students, and people of various races and nations began joining in. But the movement was not confined to the internet and began spreading and eroding the real world. When the movement started, it was indistinguishable from any other demonstration inspired by social unrest. But as it spread across the world, certain abnormalities, I said it right but wrong, soon came to light. By then it was too late, the ends and the means had vanished, and wanton destruction became their only goal. The strong butchered the weak killed the weakest among them, and soon the weak formed factions to brutally murder the strong. As the violence and death continued to spread, the shock of their actions began to disappear, as if the era was regressing to more uncivilized times, when senseless deaths were the norm. The media was oversaturated with deaths to the point where people would watch them while enjoying a meal. By the time the world realized what it had become, it was too late to stop what had happened. A feeling of immense despair began spreading and eventually engulfed the world. Acts of terrorism and coup d'etats began occurring around the world, a war waged in the name of despair. A war fought not for principles, religion, or personal gain, just war. Pure war. And because of that, there was no way to resolve it. How could a movement started by high school students progress to such a hopeless scenario? The only explanation is the existence of a certain organization, devoted to a certain student who influenced Hope's Peak Academy. Izuru? a group called Ultimate Despair. Okay, well that could be Zero, that could be Junko in my head. Instead of using Hope's Peak Academy's talents for the sake of mankind's hope, they use them for the sake of mankind's despair. Okay, that's Junko then. Key members of society use their influence to brainwash the masses in order to spread despair. Tech-savvy computer programmers wrote software to spread despair. The powerful and influential created new values and morals to spread despair. And with this, they created the tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. As long as ultimate despair exists, the despair engulfing the world will never end. Well, Junko Enoshima was the ultimate despair. So, yeah, the tragedy will never end. My heart was racing in my chest, but my body felt ice cold. That being the most tragic event in human history, just basically a student uprising caused everybody in the world to start basically just going nuts, not believing in the system that was built, and killing each other. Wild. And it was because it was freezing in this room. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. This is definitely all made up. But it ain't, dude. Nothing in here is made up. It is a game, don't get me wrong, but the story... If we were, say, actually in the game, no, it's not made up, trust me. I mean, if this is really true, then what's happening to the outside world? My family, my friends, the convenience store I frequent, the nearby bookstore, my favorite restaurant, what's happened to them?
No.
Hey, are you seriously yelling at a manga? How crazy are you? Who would enjoy reading something like this?
What?
Oh my, you don't like the manga? A high school student who doesn't like manga is like an office lady who doesn't like to eat candy. Wow. Enough! What is this messed up manga? I thought you'd obviously know about such a horrible event that destroyed the world, but for you not to remember that, such despair! That's the Future Foundation's fault, though. Thanks to them stealing your school memories. The incident that happened during that period has become completely removed from your brains. This incident really happened, and I actually forgot about it? There's no way that's possible!
What are you saying?
How many times do I have to tell you? The clues here are real.
Hello.
Please understand, I'm rooting for you. If you don't learn about the full extent of the outside world, you guys will suffer for it. I just want to help you guys so you can live well-adjusted lives in the outside world. I see, so that's how it is. That's what he meant by what he said at the beginning. Well, as the headmaster, I'm conflicted, you know. On the one hand, I'm really happy that you're finally going to graduate, but on the other hand, I'm worried about whether you guys will be okay in the outside world. That's why I'm thinking about telling you what the outside world is like before you make a decision. Whether you want to leave Jabberwock Island or stay here. He's trying to make us feel despair toward the outside world, so we'll want to stay on this island. But there's no way I'm going to do what he wants. Despair like that simply can't exist. The outside world should be filled with hope. Just like now. Perhaps, no, that's definitely it. Dude, no. Whether or not this incident really happened, what in the world is the Ultimate Despair Group? If they're devoted to a certain student who guided Housepeak Academy to its destruction, as they connected to both the tragedy and the tragedy of Housepeak Academy. Plus, the organization isn't just one person, but a group of people. But if they're known as an Ultimate Despair, they're high school students, right? Well, if they were actually able to do it, then I guess that's why they were called Ultimates. Then are the killings were involved in connected to them as well? It's no use, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm at my limit, I need to get out of here. Shivering, I ran into the freezing room. Dude, you are thinking hard about it. Phew, that was close, I nearly froze to death. So where should I go next? Whatever the fuck's open, man. So 5C is still closed. That's closed, but 5B is open. We'll get them all open. Despair. No, I should ignore it. I'm just gonna print it in and see him.
Jeez.
When I went inside this room, that bastard bear was suddenly here. He keeps glancing at me. I wonder why. Yeah, it's gonna be shitty either way.
Damn right.
So I'll let you handle it. There's no way I'm gonna deal with that idiot. I don't want to do that either.
Hiya.
Why, hello! How's your man? I hope you're doing pleasingly well. Are you pleasingly well? You're pleasingly well, right? I don't think we are. What are you doing here?
No.
Well, there was another thing I needed to tell you on this floor. I got bored of drawing manga. Can you forgive me for telling you by word of mouth? You should have done that from the beginning. I didn't want to read your manga in the first place. A high school student who doesn't like manga is like a sumo wrestler who doesn't like eating hot pots. I'm getting really fed up with your babbling. Hurry up. What did you need to tell me? It's about that key piece of information you've been waiting so long for. Surprise, it's about ultimate despair. Thanks, Monokuma. Huh? Ahem. Even though the term ultimate despair refers to a group these days,
Actually,
it was originally the title for a high school girl who was the most powerful, evil, and feared person alive. A high school girl?
yes, indeed.
Lady Junko Enoshima. We actually name-dropped her. Junko Enoshima?
Hey,
As the former ultimate despair, she created a despair brimming with charm and humor, and created the ultimate despairs. There was only one horrible person in that group.
don't fuck
What,
with me.
really? Okay, hold on a sec. I don't know what the ultimate despairs are, but it's not that easy to form an organization. There's no way people would join some fucked up organization created by a high school girl. Dude, you do not know the world.
Unbelievable.
Humans who are obsessed with their philosophy have an uncanny power to attract others. It's a trait shared by many famous leaders throughout history, right? There's nothing strange about it.
Hey,
That holds true for Lady Junko. With her charismatic ability to attract people, she even influenced those in the highest echelons of power. Her connections were the main reason that incident became the tragedy in the first place. So she even recruited people who would have been in a position to neutralize the threat? Then what was their purpose? What? Like I said, why did they cause that incident? It doesn't even make sense. They had a purpose, right? There's no way they'd do what they did without any purpose.
hey,
It was Junko Enoshima's despair. Yeah, well, again, I'm sorry, Hajime. You weren't in the first game to understand that she just lived despair her whole life, basically. She just was despair incarnate. So you're not gonna get it. For Junko Enoshima, despair isn't about purpose, a set of principles, a way of life, or an instinct. Despair is what defines Junko Enoshima as Junko Enoshima. What are you saying? I'm a stuffed plushie. Hajime is a human. It's exactly like that. Junko Enoshima is full of so much despair that she's truly hopeless. Living, dying, eating, loving, for her everything is despair. What the hell? With her overwhelming force of personality, Junko recruited the ultimate despairs one by one. She controlled their despair by taking advantage of their love, hate, grudges, anything really. Junko's despair is far more dreadful than any other. That idea had been slammed right into their minds. And so the ultimate despairs who had been recruited became nothing more than Junko's limbs. All despair, whether it was their own or anyone else's, was dedicated to Junko Enoshima. Like believers making offerings to their god. Like a mother providing food to her children. They dedicated all despair so they could escape from despair, all in Junko Enoshima's name. For example, they killed their families and friends and even destroyed their bodies through relentless mutilation. Hot damn! And to hopelessly top it off, they completely believed it was something that they had to do. That there's no way something that crazy is possible. Again, dude, real life is more fucked up than that, I find.
What?
Do you know about the final days of the reserve course students during the tragedy of Hope's Peak Academy? Final days.
In other words,
Junko has the power to change people's values. This is also true of famous people throughout history. Hey, what do you mean final days? What happened to the reserve department?
of course.
They fulfilled their role as disposable limbs. They believed in what they needed to do. And so, the 2,357 students of the reserve department all committed mass suicide. Mass suicide?
What'd you say?
All 2,357 students? Oops. It wasn't all of them. One person was excluded. One person was excluded. Aw. Is that me?
Damn it.
I don't believe it. There's no way I can believe this. Ultimate Despair, Junko Enoshima. It doesn't scare me at all. I mean,
Bastard.
Junko Enoshima is already dead. You know that? Huh? And she is now a truth bullet. You know Junko's dead, though. Why do you know Junko's dead? Hiko, is it true what you said? Junko Enoshima's was really dead? What, you didn't see? There was a book called Manga for Morons, Killing School Life in that bloody classroom. A bloody classroom? No, wait, what was that you said about the killing school life? Oh yeah. Like the killings we were involved in, they were killings that happened in Hope's Peak Academy. As I recall, the mastermind took their own life because the remaining students worked together to defeat her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. The killing school life ended up failing in the end. As a result, the 6 students who survived managed to escape from the academy.
Hey.
For a manga about the killing school life, it was drawn with a lot of silly images and dumb gags. According to that, the mastermind behind the failed killing school life was Junko Enoshima. The mastermind took her own life, which means Junko Enoshima is dead. Yeah.
Right.
It turns out that killing school life was part of that whole biggest, most awful whatever incident. Junko took away the memories of former students of Hope's Peak Academy and forced them to kill each other. Former students of Hope's Peak Academy. And she took away their memories? That's just like us. Apparently, the whole thing was being filmed by surveillance cameras and broadcast worldwide. It was. There's a limit to being a cruel asshole. The surveillance cameras were broadcasting the whole thing?
Oh.
The students of Hope's Peak Academy are widely known as symbols of hope. By forcing people to watch these symbols of hope kill each other for the sake of survival, they were trying to fill everyone who watched the broadcast with despair all at once. That's messed up! But that messed up plan was stopped. Junko Enoshima failed. Junko lost to the students she placed in her trap, and after being overcome by the despair she created, she took her own life. Then Junko is no more. No matter how horrible she was, there's no reason to fear someone who's dead. Whether Monokuma's story is true or not, doesn't matter.
Bastard!
Junko Enoshima isn't alive anymore. Then, who is our enemy? If Junko Enoshima is already dead, are the rest of the Ultimate Despairs behind this? Are the followers of Junko carrying out her will? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, the killings were involved in... resembled that killing school life. Well, I don't know who the hell is imitating Junko and making us go through this, but an imitation is just that, an imitation.
No shit.
If the students from Hope's Peak Academy stop the real deal, there's no way we'll lose to some fake. But if this is really an imitation, are the surveillance cameras the same too? I don't know if they're the same. The cameras all over Jabberwock Island? Are they broadcasting to somewhere, just like the surveillance cameras during the killing school life? Another truth bullet. Have we updated the Ultimate Despair? Man, Hajime, you totally know about that story, huh? What? Do you have a problem with that? Well, they really wanted you to read the manga version, since I took the time to draw it.
What are you gonna
Oh, well, I'll just raise the flag. Flag? I didn't even raise the flag. What's going to happen if you do that? One step at a time. You're getting closer to clearing my character route. You're not making sense again.
Well now.
Now then, I'll give you guys my all. I'll tell you everything I know, including information on the outside and the inside. Oh, raise them flags like crazy! I gotta go back to you. What a surprise! Do you want to hear about the Ultimate Despairs again? No, I don't really need you to.
Hey.
Even though the term Ultimate Despair refers to a group these days, it was actually a term used to describe the original Ultimate Despair. He just started on his own. As the former Ultimate Despair, she created Despair version with charm and humor, created Despair. It's fine already, but I'm gonna pardon not have already heard this from you before. Okay, never mind. I was thinking maybe talking to him again was gonna be the new information. Apparently not. We're gonna go to the principal's office. Or not. We're on a new floor. Huh? It changed to a different hallway. Again. It's so sudden what's going to make something like this happen. No, I've already decided that it's not going to be surprised. I think I wrote that wrong. Sorry. Oh, that's right. There's no time for me to be surprised by something like this. Oh, Akane. Tell me what's up. Akane switching her nose like a beast and examining her surroundings. Wait, what happened?
Based on my gut feeling.
Well, you know, it's just my gut, but I feel like someone's getting closer. What do you mean by who? I don't know, it's just my gut after all.
Just my gut.
But still, her gut is pretty impressive for some reason. It's strangely intuitive. And Monokuma did say something about the main cast coming. It's surprising, but her gut must be correct again this time. Her gut is normally correct, and I will give her full credit, full props. Her gut intuition is actually remarkable. Oh yes, the data lab. One of my favorite places. The music room? Okay. This looks like the music room. I feel like I can see something strange. Yeah, the monument. It looks like some sort of monument. Why would there be a monument in the music room? And not just that, the mark engraved into the monument is the symbol for the Future Foundation, right? below that symbol, there's a short passage engraved. To combat the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history, the graduates of Hope Peak Academy were among the many who established the Future Foundation. Yes! I was right! Huh? The Future Foundation was established by the graduates of Hope Peak Academy? Aren't they known as World Ender? This is completely different. Yeah, Monokuma, he completely made it up! Future Foundation's origins has been added. Well, I'm not completely right. It might not be Makoto and them, I guess. Just graduates of Hope Peak. What is this? Words are floating in the air. This is like a hologram, right? The floating letters are forming a sentence. It looks like a passage from an email. Regarding the report we gave you the other day, we have obtained information. A person who claims to be a survivor of Hope Peak Academy. Upon further investigation, there are a total of 15 survivors. You may be wondering about the number of people at this time. If they're survivors of Hope Peak Academy, it's possible they may be targeted by ultimate despair. We believe we should acquire them and place them in our care as soon as possible. Though I don't believe the group can go that far without Junko and Oshima rallying them. In a worst-case scenario, we must prevent a repeat of the killing school life. So they tried to prevent it, and they put us all on an island, and it didn't fucking work at all. And there was 100% a repeat. Also, if there are survivors of Hope Peak Academy, we should expect them to be quite valuable to us. However, we are still investigating the details of their origins, and we haven't located them either. We will continue investigating this matter. Also, regarding a separate matter, we have received a report from the research facility on Jabberwock Island. Preparations have been completed. It seems we can proceed with the experimental phase of the Neo World program. Survivors of Hope Peak Academy, 15 students. Is that about us? Excluding Chiaki, who was part of the Future Foundation, there were definitely 15 of us, but what does survivors mean? It's like they're talking from some other world. What happened outside Jabberwock Island? If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is really true, then the world isn't normal anymore, maybe. I'm starting to feel like we might be better off from not remembering the memories we've lost. Woo, boy! We are getting to the fucking nitty-gritty. I guess there's all the clues in this room. We're finally confirmed the Future Innovation is on our side, at least. They were founded by the graduates of Hope Peak Academy, but if the church Chiaki shouldn't have made it that clear to us. No, as long as Monokuma was around, you probably couldn't say anything carelessly. Monokuma, if he's the Future Foundation's enemy, then his true identity must be the ultimate despairs who caused the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The ones who are carrying out the will of Junko and Oshima and making us go through this. Also, this caught my attention in an email, too. What is this research facility on Jabberwock Island mentioned in an email? What's that about? The only Future Foundation facility we found was that ancient ruin. There's no way that's the research facility. If there really is a research facility on this island, there should be another Future Foundation members here. The others are. Somehow, are still so many mysteries. I mean, this is probably the research facility. I can't see why it wouldn't be, I suppose. But my god, so the Future Foundation, I was right, at least, that it was graduates of, good old Hope Peak, but I don't know if it's Makoto and them. I'm just hoping it's Makoto and them, because that would make a lot of sense. Was I ever in this room? This feels different from the classroom.
Maybe.
It's probably the office, right? I mean, the room kind of has that stuffy teacher vibe to it. The office, huh? Now that you mention it, it does look like that.
No.
More importantly, have you seen Miss Sonia? I don't see her anywhere. How much longer is this guy gonna be obsessed with Sonia? Give it up already! Let's not give it up. I don't need it, because I probably missed a couple, but...
Huh? Are you serious?
I'm serious, Hidden Monokuma. So Hajime Chiaki, Kazuichi Soda, so Nagito Gundam, Ultimate Imposter, didn't have a name, so Teruteru, Nekomaru, Fuyuhiko, Mahiro, Mika, Ibuki, Akane, Soji, and Peko. I was looking if there's a different name on it, but I skipped all that, sorry. Who the fuck is that in the picture to the left? With the subject is written on the blackboard and large letters below that are names I've seen before. Who is that? There's a newspaper posted on the blackboard below that. Hiyoko Sayonji is written there. What is this newspaper? Is that Hiyoko? It doesn't look like Hiyoko. That could be Hiyoko. That is Hiyoko. What is this? It says Miss Hiyoko Saionji. This can't mean the same Hiyoko, right? I mean, the Hiyoko we knew. She was much smaller and looked more childlike. It was pretty much her defining feature. The photo in this newspaper, in a way, I can see the resemblance to Hiyoko, but her height and figure, it's too different from the Hiyoko we knew. What does this mean? It means something. This lady looks pretty mature. Is she Hiyoko's older sister or something? No, it says Hiyoko Saionji here. Oh, then Hiyoko has an older sister with the same first and last name. An older sister with the same first name and last name? Dude, that doesn't even make sense.
I mean...
That's the only explanation, right? I mean, to look it up for yourself. That's not Hiyoko. But did you ever hear her mention an older sister?
Man.
Well, it's not like it was that close to her or anything.
Wrong.
She doesn't have an older sister. Hiyoko is the Saionji family's only daughter. If she doesn't have a sister, then a relative? No, there's still too much of a resemblance.
What are you saying?
That's Hiyoko. Dude, how?
Of course not!
What are you saying? Hiyoko doesn't have a curvy body like this. I mean, she was famous for her childlike figure. She got away with all kinds of crap for looking like that.
Well...
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe she had a growth spurt. What are you saying? She's already dead. There's no way she could have had a growth spurt.
Today,
Well, regardless,
I'm feeling
all
white.
the clues I've provided are true. If they weren't, it wouldn't be fair.
What's going on?
What the heck? This is the truth? If this is the truth, then the Hiyoko in the newspaper. Is he really saying this is the same person? That's impossible. I mean, how can there be a photo of a grown-up Hiyoko when she's already dead? Why? Why does this even exist? Could it be related to that list of subjects over there? Huh? If it says subjects, maybe it means there was some kind of experiment, right? Did that experiment change Hiyoko's body? Oh, what am I saying? Just saying it out loud makes it sound messed up. What experiment? If it's some kind of experiment, it would mean that we're also test subjects, right? I mean, our names are also written on the blackboard under that list of subjects. But what kind of experiment was it?
What's going on?
What's going on? It better not have anything to do with time travel. This subject's been added to the truth bullet section. Oh. And a trim of everyone's portraits hanging over the wall. I feel like I've seen it before, but the name etched into the play card is... How can he be the founder? Hope's Academy founder, Izuru Kamakura. The founder of Hope's Academy, in this name, Izuru Kamakura. Doesn't this clearly contradict the information I obtained earlier? Damn it, another mystery! The Academy's founder has been added to the truth bullet section. Unless the founder slaughtered everybody. There are letters floating in the air like the music room from earlier. Looks like a passage from an email someone wrote. I think it's the same one from earlier. I guess I should read it. We understand this matter regarding the survivors. In order to safely acquire them, please do your best and continue your investigation. However, you must exercise extreme caution concerning the remnants of despair. Even though they have lost Junko and Ushima, the fact remains that they are incredibly dangerous. Even after her death, the tragedy has not ended. Perhaps there is still a leader on par with Junko and Ushima. As long as we do nothing about the remnants of despair, we will not be able to end this incident. For this reason, the remnants of despair must be immediately eliminated once they are discovered. Everything is for the sake of a shining future. Immediately eliminated? Does that mean this is an order to kill them? That doesn't sound peaceful at all. Well, I guess that's understandable. If the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history is as terrible as it sounds, it's pretty much all-out war. If the remnants of despair are the ones waging that war, there's no way they'd be forgotten that easily. Gosh, there's been a lot of talking, a lot of information all at once. Okay, with this, you totally raised all the flags on this floor. Congratulations, Azube, you shall now go to the next stage. Next stage? Look at all the flags, dude. Damn it, not again! What are we on for time? Woo! 34 minutes of information, man. I guess we'll save here and end the episode here for today. So please comment and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the information we found. It's kind of nice having all the information on the most tragic event and the Hope Streak Academy tragedy and all that. So let me know what you guys thought. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye for now.